What's up, everybody? I hope everybody's having a great Friday night. It's once again, we are here, the Blown Tape Podcast. Me, you, the rest of the world, but we can't do it. We can't do anything without the one, the only, Mr. Professor Casas. How are you doing, sir?
How's it going? How are you holding up?
You're holding up? You holding up okay, though?
Good. Over here, just chilling, grilling.
You staying safe for the 4th?
Yeah, we're trying, but I'm hearing cuetes go off everywhere around the neighborhood today.
Are you sure they're cuetes, or are you sure they're not cuetes?
It's hard to tell. I see light, I know what kind of cuetes they are.
Once you see the light after a couple seconds, you're like, oh, okay, we're good. Let's jump into it, man. I know we got places to go, people to do, and other things happening. The MLB. What do we need to know what's happening? It's official, bro. We talked about it at the end of the last podcast on Tuesday. It is official. MLB is back, baby. 60 and 66. Let's go over some numbers that we need to know. 60 games. We played in 66 games, beginning with opening day on July 23rd and ending on September 27th. Are you excited about 60 on 66? That's a lot of games, bro, in 66 games.
It is very lot of games. Honestly, I wish it would have started sooner, though. That's my only, I guess, regret that I want to say. Because once, for you, it's normal. But for me, dude, I've been off almost, 3 months now from work.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be able to enjoy it. But work is supposed to start up at the end of July. And once work starts up, I know things are going to be different. Because we'll talk about hybrid schedules for basically all the schools in SoCal. And I saw something that came out of San Bernardino County that all schools are going to go to hybrid schedules.
Yeah.
But still, I'm going to be busy between work and the kids. It's not going to be the same. So while I could have watched a lot of baseball, and I'm not saying just my Dodgers, I could have watched baseball in general. That would have been my life. Man, I would have loved it, right?
Don't be hating. You would have been watching some Angels games.
And not if Trout ain't playing, which we'll get into that.
Hey, we're not there all the way yet.
I would have been watching every baseball, all the good matchups and stuff,
Yeah.
But once I go back to work and and this hybrid schedule is going to really throw everything off because I never dealt with really before. I'm probably going to go back to my normal routine, which is watching my team, So it's one of those, I wish it would have started sooner, but it is what it is. And I'm just happy that we're getting some baseball. And I'm curious to see how it all plays out,
Yeah, no, for sure. Of those 60 games, 40 of the games will be against divisional opponents. 20 of those games will be against interleague opponents, i.e., the NL West playing the AL West only in divisional games, I should say. 5. How many teams per league will make the playoffs? No change from the standard season. I know that they had talked about expanding the postseason. But they have now said, no, we're going to keep it the way it is. So nothing new there. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, I guess. Here's the big one. And I want your honest opinion, because I know we play softball and they start doing this kind of stuff later on in the thing. But 10, starting in the 10th inning, the game will proceed to start with a runner on second base. This is to help move the game along and hopefully kill any 6-hour games. This will not, however, cross into the postseason. What do you think about starting the 10th inning with the runner on second base? What do you think about that?
I mean, with they're really trying to just manage time and not have to go with all those extra innings and stuff like that, because they just don't have the time for it, because aren't they playing in just a couple of locations and stuff like that with time constraints? So it makes sense. I don't mind it at all, It's a little different.
It reminds me of when NFL adopted the overtime rules from college football, where they each get it on the 40-yard line and they have to try and do something there. They get the opportunity to have that extra, little bit of help to get the game going. It reminds me of that, and I love it when college football gets into that. The only problem with that arises is when they go into 5th and 6th and 7th times they're trying to go through that whole thing to try and figure out a winner. But I think starting with a runner on second base, I think it's going to be interesting this season to see how it goes. And I wonder how many times that's going to actually happen. How many times do you think, over under 5 times during the season, this 60-game season, it's gonna happen where they go in the extra innings?
Yeah, I think it's gonna happen a lot. It's baseball; it's normal.
Well, what do you think? Over under 5?
5 of how many teams that happens to?
Yeah, how many times do we go into the 10th inning in with teams? Over under 5.
Each team. You said each team. I'm sorry.
No. So how many times are we going to go into extra innings? Period. So during these 60 games,
way over 5.
Wait, how many?
Like 20.
How many?
Over 20. Think about it. What? There's 30 teams, 60 games, right? That's 3. That's 180 games. Yeah, about 20.
That's too many. That's too many numbers for me. All right, 20.
Yeah, that's too many numbers. But
so okay.
It's going to be in the 20s.
So let me give you another number then. Okay, 22. Over under.
It goes into extra innings.
Yeah.
I'll go over. I'll still take over.
Over. Okay.
Sweet spot for me is going to be like 25.
Here's my next one. All right. If we have 25, whatever, extra inning games, do you think this is adopted going forward? Or do you think they go, let's just get back to what we were doing before?
It's what it's meant to be, is like, let's just try it. Let's see how it works out and how people respond, and see what kind of, what goes right, what goes wrong, and make adjustments, you know?
Right on.
Like, I think that's really what's going to be. When we see success and like, oh, hey, that was cool, that worked out the way we thought. I think it's going to bring back small ball. You know, if you ever run our second, why not butt the full over?
Oh, absolutely.
Go for it there. You know?
Yeah.
That would. Again, they also. I didn't see the rule on it. I'm assuming last out goes to second base.
They haven't clarified just yet. But yeah, they haven't clarified just yet.
Run the last out. You know, like, is it any pinch runner? Is it a rabbit runner? I'm saying, like, some of those details to me are going to be interesting. Like, again, if it's last out, all right, cool, go to second. Oh, hey, we're going to pinch run for our last out that the game. You got a rabbit over there. Now you're like, damn, getting the rabbit over and freaking bunny him over. And now you got a rabbit and you get one shot, a sac fly or base hit to score him. Interesting. Like, I'm curious to see how the rules of it work. You know, just like the NFL, I thought the NFL did a real good job of adopting the college football rule, but modifying it to tailor what they needed.
I'm with you there.
Because it's not exactly like college football. And I think they took out some of the issues that are with college football. Like you said, like in the NFL, you haven't seen that. You usually see, what, twice each at most, you know?
At most, like 2.
Yeah. So, and like you said, college football, you'll see them go like in 6, 7 triple overtimes, you know?
Yeah.
In baseball, I think it's, again, I feel like they're going to adopt something and make it be not as
Hold on, time out. Already disconnect and come back, because you're breaking up in and out really bad.
Sign out?
You're still breaking up really bad.
Like sign out? Or are we talking like sign out?
Like sign out, and come back in. Are you there?
So everything is different.
I don't know. You're like glitching in and out. You there, big boy? RT?
Me?
Oh, hey, you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you way better now. Okay, let me get to 9. We'll call it 35. 3, 2, 1. So like, yeah, it's interesting. Hopefully they adopt and modify how they do, like just like they did with the NFL. They got to adopt and modify and make sure they move forward with it. Just because it works on one end doesn't mean it's going to be perfect for the majors. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting. Honestly, it's going to be a kind of fresh start to the 10th inning. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how they do that. Because, like you said, they haven't really said last out goes to second, or do they get to throw somebody out there over there, whoever they want on second base. So nothing's been clear and concrete right away. So we'll have to see how that goes in the next coming weeks.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's gonna be something real good. that I just think that, again, like the NFL, I really think they did a great job of adopting and modifying it and seeing, hey, what works, what doesn't work. And they saw that there was a hole with the way the whole overtime was working. And I feel like baseball is kind of seeing it like, man, they're seeing some holes in the game and they're starting to go away from the tradition of baseball, which is okay because everybody's just kind of done that, like it seems like every sport done that. Like, for example, while we talk about football was maybe one of the first ones to do something like that, the NBA, the way they altered their all-star game, to me was just like awesome, like spectacular the way they altered it this year. And now baseball, same thing. They're like, all right, hey, well, if all the other sports are doing it and they can adapt and adjust, then why can't we? Like I feel like that's kind of the new mantra. Like, hey, before it used to be such a big thing on tradition. Like sports just had so much tradition, don't you think? Like where they didn't really change much. Now with the new wave, the new era of stuff, and just how society and life is, it feels like modifications are okay to break tradition. Like they're still keeping the essence of the game alive. They're just modifying it and making it more user friendly. I can't think of a better word.
No, I think that's the perfect word. I think it's adapting and modifying itself to go with society nowadays. Everybody wants their stuff here, now, quickly. Let's get it done now. Let's go. And I think this is going to help move things along. Is it going to kill some of the diehards? Maybe, but I think they're going to get over it pretty quickly when they see how effective this is going to go. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how that goes, but right now, I'm excited.
I don't think it's going to kill the diehards because a lot of the diehards are getting older, and they're not worried about the diehards. They're worried about trying to attract
the new guys.
Fans. Because if the new fans are going to be around longer than the diehards. Diehards are diehards for a reason. They're like, they'll be bitter about it, but they'll get over it. Because they're like, we still love baseball. Just like I'll give you an example. Like I'm a diehard Dodgers fan, right? Back when the McCourts were running it, right? It was more like, you know what? I'm not going to any more damn games in person. I'm still going to watch them on TV. Huh?
Yeah.
And even that, the ratings, I would watch only certain games because it felt like all of us were just protesting the McCourts, Again, we're all diehards, but we're like, you know what? Finally, like, enough is enough,
Yeah, I got you there. I mean,
that's my opinion. I think the diehards are just going to still get out and stuff like that,
They may throw up a flag of complaint, but then they're still going to sit there and watch. So it is what it is.
I agree.
All right, next big number, 0. The number of times a pitcher will come up to bat in 2020, with the exception of two-way players, i.e. Otani-san. My boy, Otani. The universal DH will be implemented for the season for the National League and the American League. Man, what are you thinking about this, man? Welcome to the new era, Artie. Welcome to the new era.
It's not really new if the American League's had it for a long time.
I know, but you like to talk shit, bro, about how the National League, the pitchers are better because they can hit. And
well, that's true. The numbers are going to be inflated now. Poor pitchers everybody's going to have more inflated numbers in terms of hitting. I think it's going to be interesting. I like it, though. I'm all about offense. I used to really like what I called smart ball. I was never really big fan of a small ball. It's gone away anyways with the launch angles and the shifts. Like, small ball has gone away. And I thought with shifts, honestly, that small ball would come back into play.
Yeah.
But it hasn't. They're just like, we're just going to hit through the shifts, or we're going to hit
away from the shift. Yeah.
No, they don't even hit it away from the shifts. They don't care. They're like, no, we're just going to hit it over the shifts. Like, over the fence means over the fence.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
That's why, like, for, the plateau of hitting 30 home runs was really impressive. And then hitting 40 was like the league leaders, and then 50 was like, oh, man, it's impressive. Now it just seems like 20 is a new plateau where, like, oh, man, of course, that's the norm. If you don't hit 20 home runs, you're probably not going to be starting unless you're super fast or super great at defense, and even that, there's only going to be like 2 of you starting per game type of thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you.
But what's crazy is the numbers are bigger overall in terms of like the 30s and 40s. There's really not a lot of 50s and 60s anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, who led the league in home runs last year? It was like 40 something, right?
48, I think 48 or 49.
48 sounds about right.
Yeah,
You know, but nobody was in the 50s.
Nobody was in the 50s. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And even though the rate of home runs overall was up and broke the single season record, blah blah blah, nobody was in the 50s. How impressive is that? You know,
I mean, it's impressive because more people are hitting home runs, but they're not hitting it on such a consistent basis that it's changing the game. You know what I mean?
No, I don't think so. I do think because it's changed the game in terms of they don't care about the shifts. Like they're just gonna hit it over the shifts instead of we're gonna work on taking the ball the other way. Like how many guys do you really see going opposite field and say like, man, that dude is a really good opposite field hitter? You know, like the Tony Gwynns of the world.
They're not here. They're not. Yeah, they're not really here anymore. You're right.
Yeah, like the Ichiros. You know, like dudes that just would be like, all right, you're there. I'm gonna slap it over here, or I'm gonna go there. Like again, maybe it's a little bit biased, but my favorite player growing up was Piazza, right?
Yeah.
And I remember I used to be so impressed by how Piazza would hit home runs or hit the gap in right center field. Like that was part of something that I try to implement in my game as a player. Because I just thought it was the coolest thing that he would be like, well, there's a bigger hole that way, so of course I'm going to go that way. Frank Thomas was also really known as a very good opposite field hitter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Those kind of things have gone away. Like, I just don't see... I mean, if you think of an opposite field hitter, a real good one. Right now, like, he's not even playing, but, like, the last really good one that I could think of was maybe, like, a David Ortiz. He's a dude that was known as a really good opposite field hitter.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Other than that, I mean, there's dudes. Don't get me wrong. There's guys that could go opposite field and hit the ball opposite field. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying like off the top of your head, if you think of someone, man, who's the best opposite field hitter in baseball right now, I would say like, and I'm not even confident saying it, like a Joey Votto. You know, like I don't even know. Like, oh, who would you say? Like,
great opposite field hitter right now. I mean,
like the top dude. You're like, oh man, this dude. Be careful with this dude because he'll go line to line. Maybe a DJ LeMahieu?
So yeah, I mean DJ LeMahieu, you could put him up there. I'm trying to think who would be a great opposite field hitter just like that.
I did a quick Google search. And DJ is number 2 overall.
Who's number 1?
You'd be surprised. It's not a dude I would have thought. I thought he'd be a pull hitter, but he's not. And he's winning in by wide margin in most categories. It's Javier Baez.
Shut your dirty whore mouth, Javier Baez.
Yeah. DJ's at like 34.7%. Batted balls opposite field, and Javier is at 36.3. So that's almost a full percentage points. Number 3 by a hair is a Dodger.
Who?
And it's not the Dodger you think it would be.
Who is it?
I would think it'd be like a Turner. I know definitely not Cody, because Cody, while he does hit some opposite field, he's definitely a pull hitter. It's and I thought maybe Turner, because Turner tends to get a lot of little slappies opposite field. You know, he doesn't hit any bombs opposite field, but he gets a lot of little slap hits to right field. It's actually Corey Seager.
Corey
Seager is 0.1% away from DJ in second place. And then tied for 4th is Miguel Rojas from Miami, who you probably don't know. He's a former Dodger.
Who's running out the 5th spot?
Ronald Acuna Jr.
Oh, well, yeah. Fuck
another dude. He's stellar. He's
he's going to be up there.
Special.
As he keeps up doing what he's doing, he's going to be in the Hall of Fame someday.
He needs to change that little attitude of getting benched by his own coach too, though.
As I said, if he keeps up his stats but stop acting like a fool, he will be in the Hall of Fame one day. All right,
for sure.
Next big number, and there's 2. The number is 2, and there's an asterisk on the back end of it, but 2. The number of injured lists, 1 for the standard baseball injuries, and the other for COVID-19 cases. If someone does pop positive for COVID-19, they will be quarantined until 2 subsequent negative tests at least 24 hours apart before being allowed to come back to the team. So they have to have 2 tests that clear them before they come back to the team. And then the 2 asterisk is the number of teams of free agent players the league is working on having ready to come in case there are injuries of any type. So because MLB has canceled the minor league baseball season for this year, they are putting together the 2 teams of the top, prospects and free agents to come out and play, and they're going to be ready to go. They're going to be playing against each other the entire time, practicing, getting ready, playing against each other. In case somebody goes down with an injury or somebody goes down with COVID and they need to bring somebody up. So it's going to be
the Cape Cod League that's very popular for college, right, when they graduate and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's going to be very interesting to see how these 2 injury lists pile upon each other, or, where do you think guys are going to go out?
Oh, a couple of things, because you said a whole lot and I want to touch on. One, I think it's cool that the COVID, the 2 players that you're talking about, they've called it the taxi squad. So they're going to be like taxi squad players, right? Because they could be at any given moment be put on a taxi to go play a game. So I thought that was really interesting. The taxi squad is what I saw it online being called. 2, since we're talking about COVID, I just want to give a shout out to our boy Andy, who caught a case of COVID.
Oh, yeah.
In Vegas. And I've been texting or calling him pretty much every day just to check up on his ass.
You and me both, baby.
He's struggling, but the good news is he's not forward, he's not going back, and sometimes he's staying still, but at least he's not going back.
The only thing
I'm happy about that.
I'm very happy about that. But the only thing I feel dread about is that you didn't have to hear what I had to hear the other day. When the first time he had a strawberry that he could actually taste, the noises and the things that were coming out of this man's mouth when he was talking to me on the phone when he was eating a strawberry it would curl your stomach. It was like, bro, I get it. You haven't tasted things in a while, but Jesus Christ, I got to hang up the phone before I get sick. So, Andy, brother, I'm happy that you enjoyed those strawberries, but, bro, we didn't need to share it that bad, okay? So, but yes.
That's good news. I'm happy to hear
that. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no. He's gotten his sense of taste back little by little, and his smell's coming back as well. So, I mean, we're moving in the right direction, and we promise you, buddy, if you're listening right now, we promise that we put going out and playing a game of golf with you. We put it on the calendar. Whenever you're ready, we're all going to go out there and make it happen.
Sounds good. Yeah, and getting back to the whole using the players and stuff, you know what? Cases are going to pop up, man, and it's inevitable. I saw Friedman from the Dodgers was talking about, like, we're not worried about cases popping up. We know they're going to pop up. It's more like damage control. Like, what can we do to not make them pop up, and how do we adjust when they do pop up? These are because a way to say, oh, yeah, hey, we got it all down and everything's perfect and nothing bad is going to happen. Well, it's going to happen. There's some way, like, even if you take every single precaution,
it's going to happen.
Some way it's going to happen.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
It's an invisible attack that we can't plan for. All we could do is adjust and do the best to avoid it,
All we can do is, all they can do, really, is like what we're doing, is try to avoid as much as we can, but eventually somebody's going to pop, and it is what it is. There are a lot of players...
Who was in the lake?
Yeah. I was fine. I'm okay.
I know.
Everybody came back okay.
Far.
Look at what Trout said.
When you came back?
I didn't get tested, but I'm okay. I don't feel any heat, nothing. I'm good to go, baby. But like one of the greatest baseball players of our time right now, we're going to get into it a little bit later. Mike Trout has said he's skittish about coming back. He's scared, man. He's got a baby due in August, and he want to make sure when his baby is going to come out, he's going
to.
Huh?
It feels like just yesterday that dude announced that he was having a kid.
Well, his wife announced it after she knew a little bit. She was kind of prepping for it. But he only announced it a few months ago, and now, I believe it's in February that she announced it, and congratulations to them. But he is and it's like we talked about before on previous podcasts, when Mike Trout speaks, it speaks volumes. So he's nervous about it, and some of the video I've seen, he's out there batting practice and whatnot. But he's masked up. He's staying away from everybody. He's trying to stay safe. He's worried about what's going to happen with his wife if something happens with their child and he has to leave immediately. Like, he doesn't want to do anything to harm them. So,
it's not like anybody wants to.
No, I don't think if anybody wants to go try and harm somebody, go fuck yourself. Basically, this one's for Anthony over there,
But
Mr. Slappy.
Here's
Go
the
fuck
thing.
themselves.
You're making it sound like if this isn't a thought every single player has had.
No, okay. I apologize if I'm making it sound like that, but
It kind of is like, oh man, he doesn't want to hurt the baby.
But how many
Like, no
how many
shit.
times have we talked about like there's certain people in the leagues when they say something, everybody listens, and this is one of those times he talks, everybody listens. So I apologize if I made it seem like he's the only one that matters. So my bad.
Yeah, what's just interesting to me is I understand his concerns and everything, but and I know we were gonna say we're gonna get into it later, but might as well just get it out of the way because this is basically what we're gonna talk about later. Is the Angels have no hope without him? I don't think, And I put a joke in there that a poll came out that said their percentages went from making the playoffs from 5% to 1%. Are the Angels fallen angel? Is he gonna? I don't think the Angels have any shot at making the playoffs.
I will tell
he's not
you
there.
right now, if he doesn't play, it's a lost season. It is what it is.
Yeah.
We ain't making the playoffs.
Nobody's going to be really watching them like as it is.
Before the season was shut down, beforehand, the Angels had I believe it was a 8% chance of making the playoffs. Right? Wow. Forget winning the whole thing. It's like an 8% chance of winning the playoffs. With the shortened season, their percentage jumped to 13%, but that's only if Mike Trout's actually playing. So there's a lot of ifs and buts and maybe coconuts, but we have to see what happens there. And I hope that he plays. I hope that everybody is healthy, and I hope it stays that way. But shit, man, I know it could happen, and it could happen at any moment.
And like most, I guess, fans, I wouldn't watch the Angels if Trout wasn't playing. I'll tell you that. Like, I wouldn't watch them. They'd be the Baltimore Orioles. Like, you're just not going to watch them,
How dare you? I would watch them.
It's just
because I love them, but that's just
your
me.
Team.
Yeah.
I mean, what is there? The excitement of Trout in there and seeing how the game works around him or what he does. Because there's only a handful of dudes that could do something on the field that maybe you've never seen or rarely happens that they did. You know what I'm saying?
You don't think
Trout's
that
one of those guys?
You don't think that Rendon holds some people in case Trout, can't play?
Not really.
I mean, obviously not to the extent that Mike Trout, but do you don't think that he holds some people?
I didn't watch him when he was with the Nationals. Like, why would I watch him with Eagles? I mean. Me, that probably the only time I would watch if I had a chance is when Shohei pitches, because I'm curious to see how he does with pitching and hitting at the same time. Like, are they going to let him hit, when he pitches, or not?
Joe Madden came out in an interview, said he is 100% ready to go. They're going to be using a 6-man rotation to be able to allow him to hit and pitch as much as possible. So I'm excited about that.
There you go. So if Trout doesn't play, that'd probably be the only games I'd be very interested in watching him play. Shohei doesn't excite me in particular. I think he's a good player or anything. Like, Trout, watching him play is just, again, like it's one of those, it's a living legend.
It's like watching Ken Griffey. You never know what's going to happen at any point in time. You don't go use the bathroom when Trout's batting. You don't go use the bathroom when Trout's on the field. You just don't do those things.
So. Well, I don't know about on the field, bro. I don't know about on the field.
Well, it depends on who's pitching.
On the field.
It depends on who's pitching, bro.
You're right.
If they're a pitch to contact guy, you never know.
That dude, you don't leave the field. But man, I'm trying to think. I guess maybe there's been some shortstops where you're like, damn, Simmons when he was with the Braves was pretty ridiculous.
Simmons is still ridiculous. Go fuck yourself, bro.
No,
he's not as crazy, but he's still really, really good. Come on.
No, I mean he's good, but I don't think he's won a Gold Glove with the Angels, right?
He's 1-1. Go fuck yourself.
Okay.
He's 1-1.
That back, but I still just don't think he's ridiculous. Like I haven't seen him on the highlights on the freaking as an Angel.
Are you kidding me, bro?
Only on the Angel highlight reels.
No. On ESPN highlights for the night, I've seen it.
ESPN
a few
bias.
times.
They barely. I saw today a post talking about. I saw a post talking about today. That ESPN posted something about Trout's interview, and some dude said, "I think that's the first time I've ever seen Trout speak." And that to me is the East Coast bias that we've talked about.
Oh,
We've talked about
absolutely.
Trout, you know?
It's Mike fucking Trout.
Baseball. But again, it's the East Coast bias. So
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't see Simmons being on the highlight reels on ESPN.
We'll agree to disagree on that one.
I've just been watching a whole bunch of web gems recently. He's not on any of the web gems from last year. Let me just tell you.
Lies. I've seen some web
Let me
gems
just tell
too.
you.
On YouTube, I've seen some web gems, and he's in there.
YouTube. Yeah, I'm talking about the one MLB or ESPN.
Once
YouTube,
again,
oh, yeah, of
MLB,
course.
East Coast bias. They don't love him
Standard.
anymore.
YouTube, like, yeah, let me go type in Angel highlights. Of course, you're gonna see Angel highlights.
Oh, I didn't. I don't know. I typed in fast glove reactions, and fucking Simba is right there. Don't be trying to hate on Simba, bro. He's got one of the quickest releases from ball to glove to hand to throw. He's got one of the quickest releases even now, bro. Even now. Going on to the next number, since you have no objection. 108. That's the number of safety regulations to keep players from touching each other except for when they need to be tagged. No high fives, no fist bumps, no hugs, no licking fingers to get better grip on the ball. It's going to be very interesting how long MLB adheres to that, because they're talking about doing fines for players that are doing these things. It's going to be hard, bro. I don't know how many times I fucking just lick the fingers real quick and then grab the ball, fucking toss it. It's going to be hard. You hit a game-winning home run. You're going to tell me that everybody's going to sit in the dugout and be like,
Hey, your stuff. Let's go inside.
I know, right? All right, cool, bye.
No,
Like, are you-
ACLs at home plate at least, right?
Oh,
man.
why you gotta bring up
Go
old
there.
shit for it, bro? That hurts, bro. I'm gonna turn around. I need you to take the knife out of my back, bro. It hurts so bad.
Hey, but I got some good news for you. You're
What?
wrong about
What?
Simmons.
What?
He's got 2 gold gloves with the Angels. Thank you very much.
Okay, I said at least one. Go
No,
back,
that's a good
rewind
thing.
it.
That's a
I
good
said at least one.
That's a good thing. He's got 2 with the Angels. That's impressive.
Yeah, I
didn't
told
realize
you,
he had 2.
motherfucker, and you don't believe me.
He's also got a combined like 20, 30 home runs with the Angels.
Whatever, bro. He's not a home run guy. That's not what I have him there for. I have him for the defense, and I have him for base hits. That's all I need him for.
He hit 17 with Atlanta before the Angels got him. So
Hurt 17 with Atlanta. Go fuck yourself, bro. Why you got? Hey, I still need you to take the fucking knife out of my back for fucking getting at me like that, bro.
RBIs with the Angels, though. Let me tell you.
Fucking
yeah,
A.
he's got 75 and 69. He hit those numbers with Atlanta.
Yeah, there you
He got a
go.
little- well, he got hurt a little bit last year, though, right? 'Cause
He did.
I only see he played 103 games.
Ooh, I heard. Hold on. I heard a. What's that?
My second one.
What you drinking tonight?
Drinking Modelo's today.
Hey,
Modelo's
me too.
today.
Cheers to you, baby. By the way, guys, you guys know better. If you guys are following along with us, this is a 3-drink minimum on the Blown Save podcast. I'm on number 5,700, and Artie's on
My
number
second
2.
one.
So 108. So the number of safety regulations to keep players from touching each other. How strict do you think by the end of the season the MLB is going to be on the players for on these regulations?
Oh, it's one of those. It depends how everything works out. You know, like, are dudes catching the case of the COVID for everything? No? Okay, cool. Go for it. You can give yourselves bear hugs. You police yourself type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I just have a feeling that they might not show a lot of this stuff on TV.
Yeah,
Might be
they.
some restrictions with their like, hey, do me a favor and let's restrict this, let's restrict that. You know what I'm saying? Like, just personal opinion, I could be wrong, but throwing it out there, I think that there might be some of those things,
I'm with you there, dude. They may minimize how much they do or do not say because they want to keep everything in house. I'm with you there.
Right. Yeah, so I just think it's gonna be like, I think at first it's gonna be very strict. It's one of those like, yeah, it's just like with teaching, man. Like, you start getting a little loose with some of the rules of the kids don't really need them enforced,
Yeah.
If you're like, that was a good rule when I first thought about it, but well, you know what, we don't really need that rule, so if the kids do it, we'll readdress it if it becomes a problem,
Yeah.
I don't know, because you don't want to take the excitement out of the game,
I mean, that's. I can't even think, bro. Even playing softball with you, bro, hitting that game-winning base hit or hitting that game-winning home run. Like, how excited the fuck are you, bro? Just to go out there and just either hit first base, turn around and enjoy it, or run the bases like I did because I didn't hit that many home runs, and just be happy to be going around the bases. Like, it's so hard to just be like, man, these guys are going to have to go against everything they've ever done and not slap high fives, not hugs, no nothing. It's gonna be weird.
That was always one of the things with baseball is like, hey, you make sure you high five him when they put a bunt down. Like, you encourage bunts, you encourage sac flies, you make sure you go and acknowledge your teammate when they sacrifice themselves for the team.
Absolutely, it's a team game.
Like you said, you're going away from it, and you're like, hey man, hey, good job with that sac fly and the bunt. Sorry, can't give you a high five and really be out there, but I think we're gonna start seeing a lot more of like that college thing where maybe they're doing the taking off the helmets and slapping the helmets type of thing.
That might be a good compromise, I think.
I think I think the players are gonna find creative ways to make it happen.
I'm gonna be at the edge of my seat waiting for these things to happen. I'll tell you that much.
All right, let's go. Let's move it.
Yeah, absolutely. Players opting out to sit out the season: Ryan Zimmerman, Joe Ross, Mike Leake, and Ian.
Ross.
Oh, my bad, John Ross. And
Joe and John. There's brothers.
Order no mames, way. All right, Joe.
And I got a good story to tell you.
Hold on, let me get there. Joe Ross and John Ross, Mike Leake, and Ian Desmond have so far stated, for various reasons, that they will not be playing the 2020 season. How do you feel, and what's going on?
Okay, so interesting stories, right? Mike Leake is leaving. What is it? $5.3 million on the table with that.
Yep.
Ian Desmond had a really crazy statement about because he's half black, half white.
Yeah.
About the racial inequalities and stuff like that. He kind of tied that into it, but he's also been very vocal about that. So that was like another really interesting side topic with that. Ryan Zimmerman, I didn't hear a lot about him, but and John Ross, brothers, right? One of them, I think John's the free agent and Joe plays for the Padres. I don't remember which one, but I know one also used to play Nationals. I just forget which one's which. Anyways, really interesting because those dudes are really educated. Their dad is a doctor and their mom is a nurse or teacher. I'm drawing a blank on what she was. It's one of those two professions. So they're very well educated on this. And for them to say, you know what? We just don't think it's a good idea. It's a high risk, high reward type of thing. So we're going to step away. And again, it's two brothers that are like, nah, we're good. We'll pass. So again, the fact that their dad is a doctor, again, whether the mom's a nurse or a teacher, I really don't remember, but their dad's a doctor, dude. So let me tell you, their dad told them like, hey, look, mijo,
Hey, buddy, how about we stay home?
Yeah. Do you really need that check? Are you good? Because
mijo, I got you 12,000 right here. I got you.
Something like that. So that to me is really interesting. We're supposed to check in right already on July 1st. So these are the main ones we've heard. We've seen a lot of people having cold feet type of thing with like Mike Trout, but we haven't seen a lot more happen. This all kind of happened the first day, right? The July 1st, but haven't seen a whole lot since then.
Yeah, these are the biggest names that have come out and said, "Hey, we're not showing up." I know Mike Trout has said his piece and said, "Man, I'm worried." Right. He's got some. I mean, but once again, Mike Trout was one of those guys a couple weeks ago that was like, "Tell us when and where. Let's go."
Right. You think he had pressure though to do that though?
I don't know, man, because it's like a one.
Pressure, but like
it's a one. It's a 180 from what it sounds like he was saying before.
Right. So I'm telling you is like, hey, Mike, you can help us out here. Like that's what it felt. To me, that's what it felt like. I'm not saying Trout's a bad dude or anything, like by any means. Like I have no difference of an opinion with that. Like if I had to pick, I think he's a good dude. I think he's just a guy that just is very private. Like he's just like that. He's an introvert. Like he's just an introvert type of person. And we've had superstars like that. They're not that often. But we've had superstars that are just introverts, and I really think he is one of those dudes. And I feel like baseball pushed him, or someone somewhere pushed him to say, "Hey, dude, like everybody will listen to you if you start the wave, And then he was kind of like on the fence about it. He's like, all right, fine, but I'm not going to say much. I'm just going to say this type of thing, you know? And everybody jumped on it because, again, he who says little, everybody remembers the most, right? And he's the right place at the right time. And now that he's like, hey, well, it's time to play. Now he's like, oh, man, I don't know. My kid's coming on the way. I got fat contracts. I don't really need it. You know, like, it's his first kid, dude. Or you know how it goes, dude. The first kid, you know, so you don't know what to expect. And I could see his reluctance with all that, you know?
Yeah, I could see that. I mean,
what do you think?
Oh, man, I don't know. I didn't really think about it that way you said it right now, that maybe he was pressured to say something. They were like, hey, man, I need you to say something.
I don't want to say pressured is the right word. It's more like encouraged, you know? Like, I don't think Trout's a dude that could hold under pressure, man, just by the way he plays his game. He's not a dude that folds under pressure. So when someone pressures him to do something, I think that dude, he's kind of the dude that looks at, what was it called? And he just kind of laughs at peer pressure, like, oh, like crazy. That peer pressure ain't gonna, you know, make me do something, you know. I think he was like, hey, encouraged.
I think he was one of those guys that was all for it. Oh shit, we're gone. Okay, guys, look, I'm down, but check this out.
This is what's going on.
But like I'm down to jump off this fucking this rock face right here to jump into the water. But see, what had happened was I got this kid coming, so I'm down. But like, let me watch. I got the kid, so.
Here's my theory. Okay,
go for it.
I think he's gonna play until his kid gets here. And then once his kid gets here, he don't come back, especially if the Angels are out of it. Oh.
What do you mean? What do you mean if the Angels are out of it? You don't think he keeps playing? You don't think he's a diehard for the game?
Oh. I don't. Not with this kid there being born and stuff. No.
You think he walks away?
Fact, I do. I really do. I think he's gonna be like, "Hey, let's go." You know, he's not gonna say it or anything like that. You know, I think he's gonna be like, "Let's go, let's play." And then, you know, let's say the Angels are, I don't know, I'm just throwing a stupid number out there, 10 games back, and, you know, there's 20 games left. You're not going to make the playoffs with 10 games back and 20 games left, you know?
Uh-huh.
And he's just going to be like, well, my kid's born. I could stay home, make sure he's safe. I don't have COVID. I go back. Wouldn't you?
Okay, devil's advocate. Angels are 2 games back.
No. Answer the question first. I get it. The question first. 10 games back, 20 games to go, because that's roughly essentially a actual scenario that could happen by the time his child is born. Not really, because they start July something. When's his child due?
Late August.
Yeah,
it could be true. No, what you're saying could be true.
Maybe. Okay, maybe I'm right around that border. But let's just say that. Would you do it? No, I wouldn't.
I wouldn't.
I'd be like, you know what?
If it's my first
trial, dude, like this dude has, your first, not your second,
not your third.
Again, no slap in the face to my little dude Juan. Just never know with the first one, you know, like everything's new to you. You know what I'm saying? Everything, you warm up the first one's bottle, you change his diaper every 5 seconds.
You have the warm up wipies and shit.
And you have the warm wipies ready to go. You don't want the cold ones on him. You know, like that dude sleeping in the room because you want to make sure he's still breathing in the middle of the night, you know, like all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Trout's going to go through that. He's normal, bro. He's human.
He's a man.
Oh, and if the Angels are 10 games out, well, he's a superhuman on the field, but he's a human away from it, you know?
He's a papa.
And he's going to be a dad, bro. And I'm sure the wife would be like, hey, honey, you're 10 games out, honey. And we got a flat contract, and we good. You just signed that. It's not like they could take it away next year, so maybe it's a good idea if you just.
I don't know if your ankle's hurting a little bit, but I think you should stay home. I wouldn't fault him for that.
In the fall, you've been hitting that relay a lot lately, so I don't know.
If we're 10 games back with 20 games left in the season and Trout's still playing, I'm like, hey, go home, bro. I'm with you. Go home, bro. Enjoy your son. Like go.
Yeah.
Enjoy the fruits of your labor and everything that you've allotted for yourself for all your hard work. Go enjoy it. Go spend it with your kid and go spend it with your family. Absolutely.
Yeah, he doesn't come back. That's my theory.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
could be wrong, dude, but it's logical. Like it is logical, dude. And again, now if the games are close, me as a player, as a competitor, which he is the same thing, like most of us who play sports, he's a competitor. He'd be like, go back. I got to give us our chance, like I gotta
try.
Chance,
I gotta try.
Gotta try. Like, man, the baby. I don't know about like, oh, the baby will still be there no matter what, but it's more like, what I gotta try. I gotta try
and help the team. The team can't make it without me. I gotta go. I gotta do it.
Yeah, so just my personal thing. Some stats to throw at you real quick because I sent you this in the text earlier. So in total, only 1.2% of Major League people tested this week were positive for COVID-19 in baseball. That's 38 out of 3,185.
Do you know how much of them? Wait, hold on. Time out. Do you know how many of those were actual players or just staff?
That's just the stat they gave us.
Okay.
The biggest name to come out of that is Charlie Blackmon, the Colorado Rockies. Blackmon is one of 3 Colorado Rockies to test positive for the coronavirus last week. Very interesting. Very cool.
Do we know if he's asymptomatic or if he has all the symptoms? Do we know?
It seems like that came out, and then not a lot more was said about it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I thought it was interesting. And the reason I throw that out is because, while we are primarily baseball, especially you, I really follow basketball a lot as well, too.
Oh, I follow fucking football, bro. What the fuck?
Right, well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you probably follow football as much as I follow basketball.
And that's why we're amazing together, baby.
Yeah. But I follow football a lot, too, though. I feel like you don't follow basketball as much as I follow football. Like, make sense?
Okay.
I think. Anyways, because basketball has, like, so many dudes that tested positive. Like, they had, in their little realm, had 16 people tested positive last week. 16, dude.
That's just last week, 16. Though.
That's just last week. Exactly. Bringing the total of 25. And that's a smaller group, dude. Like, that's a much smaller group. We're not talking about, like, thousands like baseball. We're talking about, like, hundreds. I don't even know if they have 1,000 basketball. They have bigger numbers than baseball. That's like, wow.
Here's my biggest question, and I haven't been able to find out, and I don't know if you have seen it or read it. Okay, they've tested positive. Are they asymptomatic? Or are they having symptoms and are they having to be put in quarantine with hospital care or anything like that? Like, what's going on?
Brent, like, some of that stuff, like, I don't know how to say it without just saying it. Just the media that's throwing this out, so they're just trying to get clicks and attention. They don't care about those details unless you really go look for it. You'll find it. So, like, there'll be like 10 hits where, hey, they tested positive, right, for COVID. Of those 10 hits, one will say, oh, yeah, hey, they're asymptomatic or they're this far along, blah, blah, blah. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Well, the media is not really trying to give you, like, the details of it, but, like, and follow up. They're just trying to get clickbaits and get attention because, I mean, realistically right now, a lot of them are fighting for their careers, bro. Like, I used to be a sports writer. I literally told Maria today, and imagine if I had still been a sports writer today. I said, I'd be in deep doo-doo right now because there's no sports to talk about.
I mean, here we are. Here we are in a sports podcast, and we're still finding things to talk about. But what the fuck, bro?
I'm saying, but we're doing this voluntarily, bro.
Oh yeah, no, we're doing it because we love it.
Getting paid, they're gonna start laying off. Like, hey, you know what? Like, you're doing a good job of telling us who catches what. We don't really need that, Like, we could get that from Twitter.
For sure.
Make sense? Well, like, again, it's hard to answer those questions because they're not looking to give us the details of that stuff. They're just looking to give us this many people caught it. Oh yeah, okay. Well, how many people are asymptomatic? Blah blah blah. Like, oh wow, really care. All we know is that dude caught it. That's all that matters,
Yeah, he tested positive, and that's that. But what?
Yeah,
Who is he? Is he
really?
dying? What's going on? Oh, don't worry about that.
Right. Like, I haven't heard much else. Look, I googled it again today just to like get the information. And there's no follow up. They're not like, oh, he's doing well, this and this and that. The only one I saw a little slight follow up on today was on Zeke. I saw him like doing an interview talking about like he can't work out, but everything else is still pretty similar, and he's just kind of fighting through it, and he's being quarantined. I saw that. But other than that, but that's because he's like Charlie Blackmon is a star, but he's not a superstar. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I think Ezekiel is more like a superstar. And even though is he elite, he's not really quite elite, the number one type of dude, but he's right there. You know what I'm saying? Like when I think of elite, and again, no offense, Brent, it's like Tom Brady. You know what I'm saying? Like that dude's like, oh, that dude, you know, if that dude even took a test, it might be like big news, you know, something like that. Make sense?
Yeah.
The elites, like elite would be again like another Patrick Mahomes, you know, like there's only a handful of elite type of dude. Trout, it's elite, you know what I'm saying? Like that's an elite dude that like something goes on with it. Well, let's go. What'd you say, Trout? What? His kid might be born in August? What? That's news to us on here, you know, like that type of stuff.
Zeke is elite. Shut up. It even rhymes, motherfucker. It even rhymes.
He's a superstar though.
No,
for sure.
He is.
Blackmon is a star, but he's not a superstar, and definitely not elite. You know.
I'm with you. Rounding out baseball news today. The story of Andrew Toles. Andrew was found sleeping behind Key West International Airport in Florida a few weeks back. The popular starting outfielder for the LA Dodgers was picked up and arrested. According to his sister Morgan tells, they were relieved when he was found. They did not know if he was alive or dead for the last year and a half. Toles has been in and out of at least 20 mental health facilities since 2019. That's a crazy number since last year. But usually vanishes after only about a week. The family was hoping that he would remain in custody until they were able to be granted guardianship over him. However, an anonymous person posted the $500 bail, setting Toles back on the streets. It's crazy to me, dude, that, man, like, somebody was out there trying to help him out and posted his bail for $500. I mean, it's crazy to see. I don't know, man. I don't want to say crazy, but it's just wild to see, like, a superstar becoming so human and just falling into things that we sometimes take for granted.
Well, the awareness is huge now, right?
Yeah.
Like the dude, again, you don't follow basketball, but Kevin Love, you know, from the Cleveland Cavaliers. Remember, he stepped away from basketball for mental health awareness.
Yep.
He's been pushing that really big. This is something that we just didn't know about Toles. And when he left the Dodgers, they didn't really say why. Now, I almost feel like, I mean, I love my Dodgers, but I almost feel like this is a black eye, dude. Like, those teams make millions upon millions, and they should be able to take care of players, even if they don't play for them anymore or whatever. The last team he played for was you.
Yeah.
In my eyes, you need to take care of him. If the last team he played for was Angels, you need to take care of him. I don't care who it is, what he's doing. You take care of him. I'm saying these could be tax write-offs for you, whatever it is. There's ways to get your money back. You know what I'm saying? But you take care of these people. Like, these are lives, dude. People gave up their lives to be with you and your organization. They're talking about like how he has schizophrenia, and I forgot the other thing he had too. But I know schizophrenia and multiple personalities, which is schizophrenia, right?
Yeah.
Disorder. But there was one other thing that he had too. Well, I want to say like battles with depression, but I forgot what it was.
Either way.
It's like, dude, like, I never played baseball again. And this dude, I don't remember how he got hurt. And I think you mentioned it, like the write-up last week. He got hurt lighting into a wall trying to save a no-hitter for Julio Urias, dude. Like, that's what derailed his career. I don't want to say derailed it, but like that's where curtailed his career, because he was never quite the same. And then when he came back and was healthy, the Dodgers have all these players, and there's no really like roster moves for him to be able to join the team. And the Dodgers, of course, being a team that needs depth and wants depth in the minors, had him in the minors, And that dude could be starting, like, he'd be a starting player in most teams. He'd be starting for the Angels. Most teams, he'd be starting, dude. Will he be an every single day player? I don't know. He'd be starting on a lot of teams, dude. At least half of the teams of baseball. He's a hell of a player. And to not take care of him, again, I'm not saying that they just abandoned him, but it kind of feels like they just forgot about him and said, oh, like, cool, he's going to take care of himself. And then it's like, oh, damn. But we didn't realize it was that bad. We knew it was like he had problems, but we didn't know it was that bad,
Well, according to a lot of the reports that I was reading, he was a very popular player, and they were hoping that he would move forward, and then he just kind of fell off the face of the earth. And like you said, he played for you. He was your player, and you're going to go ahead and just let that fall on the wayside. You got to take care of your people. You got to take care of who goes through your organization. You are responsible to help, to be there for the family, for him, for whoever it might be. Like, Jesus, come on.
It's pennies for them, bro. It's pennies for them. Pennies. That could be written off in taxes, man. Saying?
I 100% agree, dude. 100% agree.
Who he played for, dude? It hurts more that it's my Dodgers. I don't care who he played for, dude. To see someone like that, like,
how do you let somebody fall off the wayside just like that? Like how?
That it was that recent. That's here's another thing, because we talk about the dude, and I'm drawing a blank on his name right now. The dude from the Cleveland Cavaliers that we talked about last week. The basketball player that hooked up with LeBron James' mom or whatever, allegedly.
Oh, I'm drawing a blank too, but I know what you're talking about.
Like him, he wasn't like from one year to the next just fell off by the wayside. It took him a long time to get where that dude's at. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
I get it. Like, are the Cavs really responsible at that point? I don't know, but they could definitely step in and help out. But the Dodgers was like, bro, this was last year. This was the year before.
Yeah,
I'm saying that is very recent. That there is a big difference.
How do you not take care of your own people?
There is a big difference. Yeah, man, this is just heartening. And I didn't know about the $500 bail setback. Like, I didn't know that about at all until you mentioned it right now, until the write up.
Yeah,
I hadn't really followed up with it. I didn't know. Like, man, that's just like, oh, that's a shot to the gut right there. Because what's going on right now with him? Like, where is he? Like,
yeah, no, the family, as of right now, guys, the family does not know where he's at. When they posted that bail, he bolted, and that was it. He's gone. He's in the wind right now, and his sister is heartbroken. She's like, I thought we finally found him. They didn't know for a year and a half if he was alive or dead.
Right.
For a year and a half, they didn't know if he was alive or dead. Think about that. Right. For a year and a half, you don't know what's happening to somebody you love. Like, are you fucking kidding me? I mean, I get it. I
doing it knowingly. I think he just doesn't know. He's not in his right mind, and he
yeah.
doesn't know.
I know.
Literally just.
I know that anonymous person who posted that $500 bail didn't know maybe the extent of what's going on, but
right.
Man, like, I appreciate you trying to help somebody, but sometimes it helps to just leave them there.
Heart.
Yeah.
Agree. I don't think they knew. I had 500. I'd probably take. I'd also be like there for him. Like, if I had $500 to bail him out and say like, hey, here, I'm gonna go take. I'd also be there to pick him up. Like, hey, dude, what's going on here? Like, where can we take you? Where's your
like,
family?
What's going on? Like, what's happening? Who can we call?
Like,
what's going on?
Hey, $500 are free. Go for it. You know?
Yeah, no, I'm with you there, dude. Yeah, no, you got to be there for people because you don't know how they are, what's going on, and why they've gotten into that situation. But it is what it is, man. I hope that we find him in alive and well, or at least alive and getting help. That's my end game on this one right now. Is I hope that we find him and that he's okay and he's seeking help and his family gets him. That's my biggest thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Last few things right now, we're going to touch on baseball. I know we're going to clip on it later on, but last few things we're talking about, the baseball schedule will be released next week. So we already know that the Dodgers will be playing the Astros this season. So I'm very excited to see how that's going to go during this season. How many times are Astros hitters going to get hit by Dodger pitchers? Artie, plus or minus 9?
Well, that's how many games are they playing? 6?
Let's call it 6. Fuck it. How many? 9.
I
Because
think
there's
under.
9. There's 9 guys on the roster.
Almost. I think under. I think 5 is about the right number.
5's about. Who's the first one that gets beamed?
Ooh, how do you not hate on Correa and Bregman? I would go
And
on them.
I think Altuve is number 3 right there.
Maybe, but Altuve hasn't been really running his mouth. You know what
Well,
I'm
I
saying?
think Altuve learned and shut the fuck up. Because at first he
Yeah.
was like, nah, bro. It's a tattoo. This is why I held my jersey, because it was a tattoo. Like, no, I didn't want nobody to
a hard
see
target
it.
to hit. Too,
Get
though,
the fuck out of here, bro. Okay,
Hard target.
okay. So who do you think gets hit first? Realistically, first game back against the Dodgers, who gets hit first?
If it were me, I'd go Correa for sure. Because
High inside fastball, small of the back.
Dome, homie. With Correa would be dome. Bregman would be a back. Altuve would definitely be a back or a leg for sure.
Well, they got to aim really low
Correa?
for him. So
Yeah, Correa would be a dome shot because he was talking shit directly to Bellinger. And there's no way, as a pitcher or someone, that I would let that shit fly to the MVP. I'm saying, like, there's no way, dude. Dude that gets hit on the back is Bregman. But see, that's why, because, like, Bregman didn't talk shit about the Dodgers. He just talked shit and ran his mouth. But Altuve, again, really didn't talk smack. He just didn't mess up and try and make excuses. You know what I'm saying? That's why I think he still gets hit.
yeah.
Correa was talking smack, bro. So I think Correa gets. Yeah, you find the hardest dude you could throw on that team, you fucking peg his ass. You know? Like, I don't know. I don't know who does it though. Here's the thing. I think Bueller does that. Bueller's dude. Like, have you seen his quotes and stuff like that? He's a dude that he don't care. He's a thug, dude. He's a thug. Now the best dude to do it would probably be Joe Kelly because he's got a black belt in jiu-jitsu or whatever it is. Like he's a martial artist.
Yeah.
But he was with the Red Sox when all that happened, and then he was on the Red Sox team. Kind of cheated, I guess, against the Dodgers too.
Yeah.
So, not really upset about the Red Sox thing. Definitely the Astros for sure. Again, because the Astros ran their mouth. I don't think I would still be upset about the Astros, but just not as much because they ran their mouth. For sure, Correa is the dude that gets it. If it's me, my number one public enemy number one is Carlos Correa. Oh, I don't know why so many people. Well, I guess Chapman, with his I don't even know if it's him, but it says it's verified.
It's verified, bro.
Like,
these are amazing. I love those when you
those
text.
are awesome, I could see why Altuve is on his hit list because Altuve hit it off of him. You get what I'm saying? I get it why Altuve is number one on his list, but if it was any other player, like, I wouldn't understand why he'd be number one on the hit list. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My hit list for sure has got to be Correa for between the Dodgers. And I don't know about, like, I wonder what the rest of Major League Baseball, like, who does, I would love to know who Trevor Bauer has number one. And if I could interview Bauer, I'd be like, all right, look, not saying it's going to happen. But if it did, you had to rank them on
Who's the guy?
Who you would hit first, second, and third. These are the three guys. You know how they always say, what is it? Help, kill, and lie or something? What is that little game?
Marry, kill, and marry, fuck, kill is what the thing is.
All right. Oh, it'd be something like that. Like, all right, who would you hit with the fastball on the head? Who would you hit with the fastball on the ribs? And who would you hit with the fastball on the legs, right? Like, and these are your three dudes. Pick. I'd be very curious to see who Trevor Bauer picks. So like, all right, I'm taking Correa at 1 in the head. I'm taking Bregman number 2 on the ribs. I'm taking Altuve in the back or the legs. You know what I'm saying? Like, that'd be my list. How about you? Being a non-Dodger fan, what would I give you that same scenario. You give me your numbers and where you would hit them.
So I got Bregman, Correa, and Altuve.
All right, to choose from. 2, 3, and where would you hit him?
I want to go Altuve first, and here's my reasoning, right? Because he's that small, scrawny guy that nobody thought was going to do anything, right?
What about scrawny though?
He's like 5'2".
Yeah, but doesn't mean you're scrawny. He's stocky.
No, he's a very stocky guy, but everybody was like, nah. Everybody passed on him. They were like, oh, and they blew him up like, oh, he's the guy that everybody passed on. He's the guy that nobody said was going to make it. He was too small. He was too weak. He was this. He was that. He was this. He was that. Like, bro, I'm fucking tired of hearing about how good Altuve should have been or is and this and that. Altuve would be the first one. Correa would be my second, and Bregman, I think, would be my third.
All right,
that's me. I'm just tired of hearing about all fucking Tuve, man. Like I'm when he was blowing up and everything was kosher. Like, okay, La Raza and this and that, like the Mexican or the Hispanic community. All right, cool. Get behind this guy. Like, he's a little guy. He's scrawny. He's scrappy. He's fighting for everything. Yeah, you're fucking cheating, you bitch. Get the fuck out of here, man. God damn. Like George Lopez would say, "Mas puto." That's all I'm saying on that one.
All right. Interesting. Very interesting to see a perspective. Like, your perspective to me is really interesting because
it's the AL West.
You're not emotionally invested, too, the way the Dodgers were. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you there, bro. I mean, but they're still in my AL West. They still cheated their way there. So, I mean, granted, they really cheated their way through the postseason.
They would win the AL West with their minor leaguers, you know? Like, come on.
Hey, dude, I found the other knife in my back, bro. Can you pull that one out too? My bad, I missed it. It was down here, lower back. So I need you to pull that one. Oh, cabrón, Jesus Christ! Fuck.
We're down the home stretch, so I'm pulling out my third beer.
Brother, my dad listens to this, bro. I don't need him to hear all this back. I'm like, dude, you're killing me here, Dad. Dad,
they're jokes.
I'm sorry, Dad. He's killing me.
In the West, they'd be in second place. And, the Oakland A's.
Whatever. Moving on to the NBA. They're talking about replacement options for the back of the jerseys. I know some of them were I Can't Breathe. Shit. Black Lives Matter.
They agreed to that today. Let me look at the text I sent you earlier. But they agreed to it today, and they were just throwing some of the names out there of what be like appropriate messages. Black Lives Matter, say their names, her name, I Can't Breathe, justice, vote, equality, peace, freedom, enough, or to the people. They were, I haven't verified it, but what I had read or seen was that they can't use names of the actual people.
Right.
The back of their names, like, I'm just drawing a blank on some of their names. You just can't use any of their names, you know?
Yeah, they can't be specific, but they can draw the generalizations of the name of the movements.
Right. I'd be interested. Yeah, be interesting. Some of those are kind of long, though. How would you put those all on the back? You know?
I mean, you have somebody with the last name Iguodala. I'm sure they could figure out how to put the fucking whole thing on.
or the MVP from 2 years ago. I'm drawing a blank. His name, the Greek Freak. His last name was long as hell too.
They had
say his names.
That was a big ass curve on that one. I'm sure they could figure it out, bro. They're gonna go 2 lines on this.
I honestly think they will go 2 lines, and they might go like a top and a bottom underneath the numbers, like they'd sandwich the name.
I'm with you there. I think that's the way they're gonna go with that.
So it's gonna be real interesting. I think that's cool. It's cool. It's something different.
It is. NBA also reported they're talking to players who. Oh wait, you talked about that. Hold on, my bad. You have that split up right there. One.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, because I went and looked for it. It's also mentioned, but yeah.
All right,
it's really cool. Where we talked about that.
3, 2, 1. I mean NFL. I mean at this point, the NFL is considering honoring the victims of police brutality. I mean, we're going into a whole another animal. We're going to get into the Redskins looking at changing their names. I mean, even Cleveland is looking at changing their names. I mean, where do you fall on all this, Artie? I know socially it's a good thing. Let's start off with the stadiums for the Redskins. The sponsor FedEx has told I don't know if they asked them, but they told the Redskins, "Hey, you need to change your nickname. Like it's about that time." They're trying to tell the Redskins, like, "Hey, man, we have made a request, quote unquote, that the team change its nickname. We have communicated to the team in Washington. Our request is that they change the team name." Now, here's the thing. Like you and I were talking, I believe, or you posted on this. The Redskins name change has been talked about for the last 5-10 years. Nah, maybe not 10 years, but the last 5-7 years has gotten a lot of traction.
Decades, bro. I was reading decades. Washington Redskins nickname has been under fire for decades. They've gone to court. They've lost in court, and then they've won the appeals. I was reading up on, dude, this is a whole big old ball of wax. Like, man, it's crazy how deep this goes, you know? I mean, okay. In 88, like their owner is talking about that's never going to change. Like 88. So then they had like protests when the Redskins hosted the Super Bowl in like 91. It's just crazy. And then in 99, when the new owner, I'm trying to blank on his name right now. I saw it in here. Anyways, new owner took over the team. He said the same thing. He said you could put it in all caps. It will never change. He said never in all caps. Never change. But this week it was really interesting. So I put this in there on there as like a note for us to talk about. On Wednesday, Adweek reported that 87 investors and shareholders worth a combined $620 billion, and I have my finger next to my
billions.
To the previous week, sent a letter the previous week to 3 sponsors, FedEx, Nike, and PepsiCo, urging them to support a name change for the team. Past groups had protested outside stadiums and tried to change the name. Of course, this represented a targeted push to sponsors. So this is the first time sponsors are really getting involved. And if you noticed, Nike took down everything they had, all the merchandise. They don't have anything that represents Washington Redskins. You know this is getting big. And at first, it said that Washington had no thoughts of changing the name, and then later in the week, he said Washington released a statement in light of recent events around our country and feedback from our community. Washington Redskins are announcing the team will undergo a thorough review of the team's. They trying to stall, or are they actually going to do it? Rumors are that they're actually going to do it. I'm very curious to see what they switch to. Just because I read all the details, you know, like another thing was they had a poll for like Native Americans, and it said like 90% of the Native Americans in that poll. But again, it could be like, well, we only gave it to this group because we knew this group would answer this way, you know?
Right.
They said that they weren't offended by the Redskins thing. So I don't know, just different thoughts, but I think it is time, you know, it is time. This would be the time to do it. And if you're a sponsor, and like, do something, you know, or else you're gonna lose on all that sponsorship, dude. $620 billion.
$billion. I mean, here's my thing. Okay, I'm an NFC East guy, right? No matter what the Washington Redskins called themselves, they're still going to be the Washington Redskins, and they're going to suck. I'm just saying, off the top of my head. Just because I'm a Dallas fan, it is what it is. You guys suck. But on the realist note, what are some names? Have you heard any other names that they are willing to change to? I mean, why not go with the Washington Nationals, just like the baseball team?
I think that's a great idea. I heard Washington Redskins. I'm not really fond of it.
I'm not on board with that one. That's too close.
What other I guess teams do you see that have the same nickname?
I mean, look at the Atlanta Braves. I mean, you're looking at the same problem there.
Context, yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I didn't mean that. I get what you're saying. I mean, like, what other teams see that have the same names? like the Angels, right? The California Angels of Anaheim, the Southern California and West Coast region.
Why, bro? Why?
Whatever.
Why?
I don't know. I forget your guys' names.
It's Los Angeles. It's fine.
All right. No, it's not Los Angeles. That's
Los Angeles. Look at the history. 1903, the PCL
you ain't
league.
in Los Angeles.
The Dodgers couldn't even get the logo.
The Dodgers are in that county.
The Dodgers couldn't even have the logo without the Angels' approval. Anyways, if you want a history lesson, I'll get you to there, Mr. Technical Professor.
Yeah, in Orange County, right? So like the Angels really need to change their name to the Orange County Angels or whatever. If you really want to do something. But seriously though, what other teams you see like the Lakers? The Los Angeles Dodgers basketball team. You don't see the Anaheim Clippers or the Anaheim Angels. I don't know what else to call it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Clippers.
What I'm trying to say is like there's no other teams that have the same nicknames or team names anywhere. Like, is there another one that crosses over? Like, seriously, like, is there another one? Like, is there the Angels in any other sport?
Are there Dodgers in any other sport? Not that I know of.
That's what I'm saying. Like, any other team, like the Nationals, I don't see that happening.
But here's the thing, though. Because they're in D.C., and it's the center of our country, quote unquote, because of our politics, whatever. You don't think that they go Washington Nationals, both baseball and football? I mean, I think it would be a smart move.
Why not go Washington Senators?
You can go back to what they used to be. I'm okay with that. The Washington Senators. But here's the thing.
Okay.
Here's my counter to that.
And hold on before I lose it.
Okay.
And use the logo that the Oilers. I think it was the Oilers. Didn't the Oilers have it? The Oilers maybe they did it. I'm blank. But the logo that the Oilers. I thought that was the Oilers that had it. Of like the image I have in my head is "We Want You." That whole poster that they had like that. It could go to some kind of logo like that,
But here's my counterintuitive, whatever you want to call it. You change from the Washington Redskins to the Washington Senators, right? Now, because we're moving away from the Washington Redskins, because that's it's a bad nickname or a bad call on the name of the Native Americans. Now we're going to the Washington Senators. Now we're talking about Anglo-American people that have come and changed our society. Is that something that we're looking back at and going, maybe we shouldn't go down that road now? Is it something that's going to be? I mean, what if that is one of the things that they're putting up there? Let's go with the Washington Senators, like we used to be, or that somebody used to be. Do you think that's going to come up on somebody's radar and going, hey, man, that may be offensive to some people? How far do we go on the offensive to some people that before we go, okay, it's offensive to some, but it's not offensive to all. Let's just roll with this and let's go with that. What do you think?
That's the line you got to draw in the sand eventually. Like, okay, where's too much? Who draws the line? Who's drawing the line? Like, some of the things they talk about is like, does a racist really believe they're racist, or do they know they're racist? I'm saying,
yeah.
Like, I get it. Like, I don't think you're racist. I don't think I'm racist. But do our views on everything line up exactly the same? No. Well, because they don't line up the same, or where we differ, does that make us racist? Where we don't line up the same? Oh, you know what I'm saying? So eventually it's got to be somewhere.
You can't please everybody all the time.
You're right. You can't. So I find it, again, I just threw the Washington Senators out there because that's a team that used to be there,
right.
Like, I think they're going to, I don't know. I know that the big thing is, I thought of his name, Dan Snyder, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dan Snyder wants to keep a lot of the tradition of Washington. They're not going to switch their colors. So they're going to have to find something that keeps those colors and a lot of the traditions the same.
That red and gold.
What are we talking about? Like the Washington Apples? Is that what we're going to go? I don't know. I'm saying like
the Washington Dirtbags. Whatever.
I don't know, dude. Dirtbags. Oh, now you're being offensive to males. Not every male is a dirtbag.
The Washington Dirt People.
not their people, what people of color descent, like, I don't know, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, where do we draw the line, honestly?
Yeah. And so it's going to have to be something, like, I don't know. No, I think it's going to happen. I think it is going to change. I think it's going to be something that they're still not happy with, though, but they're like, well, at least they changed it a little bit,
Yeah, I'm with you there.
I could be wrong. I'm curious. I am curious. I think the names are going to start coming out more this week,
Well, we'll just have to see and wait or wait and see what happens in the next week, and we'll go from there.
Name it after an animal and you're good, like like the Red Robins,
the Washington Peacocks. There you go. We're good to go. We're good to go. Let them be one and all, and there you go. The NFL reportedly planning to play the Black National Anthem before all week one. I know you brought this up. The song "Lift Every Voice and Sing" is known to be as the Black National Anthem and would be played before the Star Spangled Banner. I mean, I hadn't heard anything like this until you brought it up. Can you give me a little insight on this?
They're saying just for all week one game, not like the whole season, at least not that I know of. If it's a week one thing, hey, that's cool. Why not? Like we always do stuff for Father's Day and things are different,
Yeah.
If you're talking about like every single game, we're like, I don't know. You take some of the luster away from the national anthem. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I don't care about the song itself, like in terms of lift everybody and sing. Like I'm not saying anything against that. I'm saying you're taking away from the national anthem.
I could see them doing both. I could see them being very focused on it the first week of the NFL season. But I could also see it like they did this last year. How many times, honestly, did you see the national anthem being played while you're watching it on TV? I think only Sunday Night Football, Monday Night Football, and that was pretty much it. You didn't really see.
Remember when baseball used to have to do that, like in, the 9/11 attacks, and then they had the the Star Spangled Banner.
Yeah.
What was it? What did they had in the 17th? And they're like, no, we got to televise it.
It was America the Beautiful. It was the one by Ray Charles, the song by Ray Charles, America the Beautiful, or America.
Televised it, you know what I'm saying? They made them televise it.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm saying, last year in the NFL, you really didn't see too many national anthems being played live on TV. I don't want to say for fear of, but because of the protest. I don't want to say that because it sounds wrong.
Find ways to curtail. They're like, oh, okay, well, if they're not showing it live, then they're less likely to do it, which will bring less attention.
I mean, players still. I mean, realistically, that's what it was. I know that at my house, I'm sorry, but when the national anthem played, we all stood up, and I told everybody, hey, in my house, these are my rules. It is what it is. Please stand up for the national anthem. I fought for this country. I was in the war, et cetera, whatever it is what it is. But I noticed that this last season, less and less times when I watched the football games, there was the national anthem. So it was just really, really bad. I don't know. I mean, bad. Shit, now I feel bad for saying bad. It wasn't bad, but it was one of the things that I think the NFL knowingly didn't do on purpose. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, I think they did it on purpose.
Fuck, man, you're putting me up against the wall here. Jesus Christ. I see you over here typing, we can't make students say the Pledge of Allegiance. And I, for one, am not okay with that. But it is what it is. It is what it is.
That's my rats.
But you make them feel, what does it say? But you make them feel guilty when they don't say the Pledge of Allegiance, right? So what do you do, Mr. R.D. Casas, the professor himself? What do you do to say these things? Or is this just a general statement, sir?
Plead the fifth.
You plead the fifth. Right? And I'm okay with that. Jesus Christ. I think everybody should be okay with wanting to or not wanting to. I don't think that at any point we should be forced to or not to be able to do these type of things. Stand up for the national anthem, Pledge of Allegiance as it would be. I know that here in the school by my house, every Wednesday, I believe it is, at 8 a.m., they all stand outside in their yards and they They pledge allegiance, and it fills me with joy when I do get to hear it. But that's me. I grew up that way. It is what it is. It's not for everybody. Okay.
I need to go and Google the pianist. I heard it was really good. The rendition of the national anthem in that thing. I'm curious to see. I have no problem with it. Doing it week 1. Curious to see. Everything's going to change, dude. So I don't even know if football is going to happen the way everybody's hoping or thinking it's going to happen because there hasn't been a lot about it.
Right.
You did mention that they're going to shorten the preseason. About it in a text to me earlier this week, which is again step 1. I knew that was going to happen. So there's going to be changes that we don't foresee coming, and they're using basketball and baseball as a benchmark to see what goes right, what goes wrong, and they're going to capitalize on the things that go.
Yeah.
The things that go wrong.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there 100%, man. Like,
yeah. So, but yeah, I don't have a problem with it. I like this. I like all this stuff and bringing diversity to the world.
We want to make sure everything's inclusive, especially sports.
Yeah,
the biggest equalizer, I think, in sports is if you're good, you're good. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, green, purple, orange. It doesn't matter what it is. If you're good, you're good. And that's the ultimate thing about sports. At the end of the day, I think that's the what do they call it? The meat and potatoes.
I totally agree.
All right. So 2 quick things. Cam Newton has finally gotten a contract with the Patriots that include only $550,000 guaranteed. His contract is mostly made up of incentives. How do you feel up? What?
1.5 mil that could equate to.
It could equate to it. So he can actually make another $1 million at this point. But he's only getting $500,000 guaranteed. How do you feel about this, man? Like, Cam Newton's going to the New England Patriots. That's a whole rock and a hard place right there, I think.
It's low risk, high reward. We talked about it. That was the team that we targeted.
That was one of them, yeah.
Especially, it was a team I targeted, and I told you, especially after the draft happened with Miami. I still thought Miami had a shot getting him because they would still want to develop their youngster. And then I thought that'd be a good storm for him to be at in Miami. But New England was the team that would make him a starter and motivate him and just really think it's a perfect fit. And I personally am going to draft him in fantasy football. Maybe not as my first guy, my first quarterback. I'm going to take him because I think he's going to be close to what he was with his MVP season. So I don't know. I like it. I like the move, and it's again $550K. That's pennies, bro, in the NFL. Pennies, At least he's getting something. Yeah, he's getting something, but dude, nobody else made him an offer. That's what's crazy.
What was it that you told me? You sent me a text, and it was like, well, at least somebody gave him something. He said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna go do this shit for fucking $550." I mean, at the end of the day, how many of us out there are really getting paid $550,000 for 6 months of work? You know what I mean? I mean, Jesus Christ!
It's going to be a shorter season. Let me tell you that.
Unless he squandered his money, he's got something in the bank. I know the NFL is pushing right now for to cancel the preseason games, only going to one preseason game, and then going right into the season. So it'll be interesting to see what's going to happen in the next few weeks with the NFL season. There's a lot of things going on, man. It is what it is, brother.
Oh. I really think he's going to have a good year. I think he's going to be one and done with New England. I don't think he's back, to be honest. I think someone else is going to be like, damn, he had a good year. Let me sign him. Who? I don't know. But I just feel like someone is going to sign him.
Let me ask you this real quick before we get out of here. He has a good season, not a great, but a good season, a respectable season with the Patriots this year.
Great. I think he's going to be a top 5 quarterback. He's going to be entered like the 5 spot.
You really think he's going to be top 5?
Dude, I think
Fantasy- fantasy-
Have you ever played motivated? He's got the skill. He was just hurt, dude.
Fantasy predictions right now. You're hearing it right now. Artie's going Cam Newton first round draft.
No, because I wouldn't take a quarterback till the third round. You know.
Okay. Let me ask you this then: first pick of your quarterback, third round. Are you taking Cam Newton or are you grabbing somebody else?
Depends who else is there still there.
I'm just right now.
No, because I'm taking him with my second quarterback drafted. He's not going to be my first quarterback. I'm not banking on him.
Okay.
I think he finishes as a top. I would be willing to bet a little side bet, a little $5 friendly side bet. Finishes as a top 10 quarterback in the NFL.
I could respect that.
I think he could push be in the top 5. But when I say be in the top 5, I think like number 5.
Top 5, number 5. Top 10, number 7.
Yeah. I think he'll be in the top 10. I think he could push for number 5.
I think with Belichick behind him, I think he's definitely in the top 10 for sure. Top 5, it's going to be a rough one, but I think he has the ability and the just no. I think he has the ability. I think I definitely think he has the ability to go ahead and be a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. I don't think
he's going to equate for 30 TDs. He's going to equate for 30 TDs easily. How
many touchdowns right now? Over under right now. How many touchdowns do you think he runs in for being in a Bill Belichick system? I'm going to go with 10.
Over under?
Under. How many do you think he hits?
I think right at 9.
Really, right on the cusp.
Right at 9. I don't think he, because if we go over under, he might hit 9 or 10. I don't think he's going to hit 11.
Interesting.
Because Belichick loves to like switch up the damn running back at the damn goal line. So it's always like, always have like 6 dudes with 5 TDs or more rushing,
Here's one other prediction I want you to think of. He shows up dressed all in how Cam Newton is, and he is all who he is. How long, if he is the way Cam Newton's been, how long do you think he stays with the New England Patriots? So you think the New England Patriots stick with him the entire season?
I think they stick with them the entire season. I think Belichick's going to have a talk with them like, hey. You know what annoys me with Cam Newton? And I know it's just something right now that I constantly see. Can't stand his hairdo, man. You seen that little hairdo with that little thing that he has tied in the front?
There are so many things going on with that, dude. I mean, because here's my thing. Look with Antonio Brown. The Patriots came, signed him. They had him for one week. He was like, "Oh yeah, I'm a badass motherfucker, no matter where I go." Right. And the Patriots are like, "Yeah, you're too much. Get the fuck out of here." Do you think the Patriots stick with him, or do you think they tell him, "Hey, bro, stop acting a fool, or we're gonna cut you like we did that guy"?
I think they're gonna give him a warning. So I think they're gonna give him a warning, and I think he's gonna cooperate because he doesn't have any other options. If you don't have any other options, what are you gonna do?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you got to conform or you got to get out. And I think
he's realized that. I don't want to say he's been blackballed, but it kind of feels like it. And he might have learned from what happened with Kaepernick, and he's like, "Look, if I don't sign with somebody this year, I don't think anybody's picking me up next year or the year after that." Does that make sense?
I'm with you, 110.
So, and I don't want to say blackballed, but I don't understand why he would be blackballed. He's not a dude I could understand why he would be blackballed,
Yeah.
But he is not being sought after. No, dude, talk about it. There are 15 backup quarterbacks making more guaranteed money than him. 15
backup quarterbacks. Wow.
Dude, that's insane. I know he's a smart guy. He's not dumb. And he has to see the writing on the wall. He's like, look, but he's giving me an opportunity. I'm going to take it. I'm going to prove myself again, and we'll go from there. It's kind of like when you're in college. You're like, you try to prove yourself, get drafted. I feel like he sees the writing on the wall, and he sees where he's at, and he's going to have to just earn his stripes again and try to be an NFL quarterback because this might be his last shot because he's not a dude that strikes me as, all right, I'm cool with being a backup. And I think they are giving him a chance to be the starter. at a very low money, but still, hey, here's your chance, on it or not. And he's like, all right, well, I already learned what happened with Kaepernick. If I don't take this chance and bank on myself, which I do believe in myself, and everybody believes in themselves, right? And I'm not going to get this opportunity because nobody's going to sign me next year. Dude, who would sign somebody that didn't get signed the year before? Like, nobody does that, you know?
Okay.
Nobody.
Okay, quick question right now before we wrap it up. Everybody's talking about Kaepernick's got to get signed. Kaepernick's going to get signed. Kaepernick, somebody's going to grab Kaepernick. Somebody's going to grab. Who signs Kaepernick?
Nobody.
Nobody?
I don't think anybody picks him up.
I don't think. Okay, here's my thing. I don't think nobody picks him up to be a player, but I think somebody picks him up to be like their social media person, to bring some social awareness to their team.
Right.
And then, don't get me wrong here, and with everything going on, Redskins, listen up. You got a guy who can help you out here, fix this whole name thing, and flip it around. What do you think?
I think if anything, it happens towards the end of the season.
I think he gets signed by somebody for some administrative thing sooner than later. Honestly, that's me. He ain't playing no more. I don't think he's playing anymore, but administratively...
Like nothing. I haven't seen anything for a week. All of a sudden, I don't see anything happening. Like, it's just, it's I don't see it, dude. Maybe a high school team if you want that.
Well, we'll have to wait and see what happens, guys.
Rivers has his high school coaching gig lined up, right?
Oh, Rivers does. Hey, people have done great things in coaching high school. But with that, my brother, one of my best men in my wedding someday, next year maybe, hopefully. We're gonna call it a night, man. I mean, it's a great fucking thing. I know we started a little bit later tonight than we wanted to, but it's always a pleasure, never a chore. Artie, I need to hear that goodbye from you, baby.
All right, everybody, gotta be safe. Wash your hands and wear your mask. Be safe out there because the second wave, quote unquote, is happening. And we're going back to lockdown, and we don't want this for the whole year, right? So just be safe out there and take care of yourselves.
The 17th wave is happening right now, and for once, I would love to sit down with Artie in front of me, guys, to actually have the podcast. I hate having to be so far away from you, man. I want to just reach over the table and just touch your nose and be like, hi, sir. But yes, no, like Artie said, guys, please be safe. If you don't have to be out, please don't be out. If you don't have to go anywhere to buy anything, please don't go out and buy anything. Stay home, stay safe. It is a wonderful 4th of July weekend. Please stay home. It's going to be warm, so make sure you guys are staying hydrated. Make sure you guys are staying in the pools if you guys got them. Make sure you guys, above all else, just stay safe, and we'll catch you guys next week. I love you guys. Don't forget to catch us. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, do all the other fun stuff. Let people know, hey, man, these guys are hilarious. These guys like to have a good time. These guys, hey, you should listen. Hello to all of our friends across the nation, across the world. Hola, ¿cómo están? Hello, and thank you guys in Texas, California, across the world, Portugal, India, everywhere. Guys, we love you guys. Please show us some love back. Show us some love, some likes, some subscribes. Do all that fun jazz. I love you guys all. Have a great night.